Daf Yomi, Tractate Bava Batra, page 52a, top of the page, with the words Kibel min ha-katan. If one accepted a deposit from a minor, he cannot return it to him, as a minor is unable to properly safeguard the item. Instead, he must make a safe investment, they call it segula here, for him, and if the minor dies, he must return it to his heirs. And with regard to all these people who said at the time of their death that the deposited item belongs to so-and-so, the bailee should act as they had explained. And if their explanation was not credible, the bailee should form an explanation of their explanation. In other words, ignore what they said. The Gemara relates, when the wife of Rabba bar Chana was dying, she said, These rings that are in my possession belong to Marta and the sons of her daughter. Rabba bar Chana came before Rav to ask what he should do. Rav said to him, If she is credible in your eyes, act as she had explained, and if not, form an explanation of her explanation. In other words, ignore what she said, and as for heir, keep them for yourself. And there are those who say that this is what Rav said to him. If you assess that it is likely that the rings were deposited with her, act as she had explained, and if not, form an explanation of her explanation. The Braita stated that if the bailee took a deposit from a minor, he must make a safe investment for him. The Gemara asks, what is meant by a safe investment? Rav Chizda says the bailee should purchase a Torah scroll for the minor. Rabba bar Rav Huna says he should purchase a date palm from which the minor will consume dates. The Mishnah teaches, and a father does not have the ability to establish the presumption of ownership with regard to a son's property, and a son does not have the ability to establish the presumption of ownership with regard to a father's property. Rav Yosef says, even if they separated and the son is no longer dependent on his father, the presumption of ownership still cannot be established by a father or son with regard to the other's property. Rava says, if they are separated, that is not the halacha, and the presumption of ownership can be established. Rav Yirmiyah Difti said Rav Papi performed an action and ruled that if they separated, that is not the halacha, in accordance with the opinion of Rava. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak said that Rav Chia from the city of Hormiz Ardeshid told me that Rav Acha bar Yaakov told him, in the name of Rav Nachman bar Yaakov, if they separated, that is not the halacha. The Gemara notes, and this is the halacha. If they separated, that is not the halacha. The presumption of ownership can be established. This is also taught in a Braita. A son who separated himself from his father's finances and a wife who became divorced are like all other people with regard to establishing the presumption of ownership. It was stated there was a case of one of the brothers in a family who was engaging in commerce in the house, managing the family finances after the death of their father. And there were bills of sale. Onot. And other documents circulating with his name appearing as the owner of the property and as a lender. And that brother said, the money and property are mine, as they fell to me as an inheritance from the house of the father of my mother, who is not the mother of the other brothers. Rav says it is upon him to bring proof of ownership. Otherwise, the property is divided equally among the brothers. And Shmuel says it is upon the brothers to bring proof that the money or property belonged to their common father and consequently now belongs to all of them. Shmuel says, Abba, meaning Rav, concedes to me that if that brother dies, it is upon the brothers to bring proof in order to collect money from the deceased brother's heirs. Rav Papa objects to Shmuel's addendum. Maskef Rav Papa asks, do we claim on behalf of orphans anything that their father could not claim for them? But didn't Rava remove a pair of scissors used for cutting garments and a book of Agada from orphans without requiring the prior owner, who had asked the orphans to return these items to bring proof of ownership? And he would rule the same in the case of all items with regard to which it is common for them to be lent, and the one in possession has no presumption of ownership.